It's time to predict the scores of game week 31 of this 2024-2025 Premier League season, the home of Premier League predictions on YouTube. In terms of the title race, it's all but over with Liverpool and the bottom three as well, even though Ipswich did win last week. It looks like that's tied up, but there is a whole host of Champions League places up for grabs with the likes of Nottingham Forest, Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea and Aston Villa, and you could even say Brighton in the mix for those European places. But we are here to predict the scores for game week 31, so without further ado, over to you, Nathan.
Starting off 12:30 TNT, Everton up against Arsenal. Now Everton, Tarkowski got very lucky because of referee incompetence once again. Narrow against Liverpool, which always seems to be the Merseyside derby now. And then Arsenal, 2 wins now on the bounce, which is very good for them. Great start back from international break, beating Fulham 2-1, much needed. Saka, of course, is well and truly back. Going to be interesting where this one goes, but they say never back the early kick-off, and I'm not backing it, so I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
1-1, interesting, Nathan. I will go for an Arsenal win in this one, but Arsenal do have a lot of defensive issues. Gabriel looks like he's out for the season, looks like he needs surgery on his hamstring. I think Timber, there's doubts about him, Calafiori, Ben White, so
lots of injuries.
A few days ago I thought they would keep a clean sheet in this one, but I think Everton will score. But I think Arsenal, with the likes of Saka, as you say, coming back, and their midfield looks fantastic. Everton really unlucky against Liverpool in the way they hit the post, although it was ruled offside. You said that refereeing performance in the Merseyside derby for both teams wasn't great, was it? So in this one I'm going to go for Everton 1, Arsenal 2. Next up we got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, which sees Crystal Palace take on Brighton in what a lot of people say the fake derby. A lot of fans for Crystal Palace and Brighton say no, it is a derby. Crystal Palace coming a little bit of a cropper, almost being embarrassed by Southampton in that 1-1 scoreline in midweek. And I think they're going to follow it up with another draw here. Brighton getting thumped as well, which was their first defeat in 6 matches against Aston Villa, where they lost 3-0 at home. I think they'll be well up for this one. Palace have been fantastic recently, back at home. I think it's going to end up all square. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, both sides were just really poor in the last game week, but Palace doing that against Southampton was absolutely embarrassing for me. Brighton didn't look good either, but Villa just look on a different level at the moment. I think they're going to end up in the top 4 at the moment with the way they're going. Wow. Oh yes. So for that reason, I don't know why, I think Brighton are in a bit better stead in that case. So I'm going to go 2-0 away at Selhurst Park, which a lot of people are going to think I'm insane.
Yeah, my eyebrows are rising here.
I know, very, very, very bold prediction that is. But anyway, moving on, Ipswich up against Wolves. Ipswich, last time around, a very good victory against Bournemouth, who've looked, very, very iffy recently, but that's a great result for them. Coming up against the Wolves side, pretty much, 9 points ahead of them now, in decent form, trying to push out for survival, but for me, if Ipswich do lose this game, they are 100% down, but I don't know why. I think they're going to try the Great Escape, and they'll get a draw out of this 1-1.
Yeah, they'll be fully buoyed, a lot of confidence after that victory against Bournemouth in midweek. Wolves, though, they're on a bit of a run, back-to-back victories against West Ham and Southampton. That was, prior to that, was a decent enough draw against Everton, who up until that defeat against Liverpool hadn't lost in some 7 matches, had they? So I think Wolves' form will continue. Ipswich, they had that great win, but I think Wolves will take all 3 points here in a 2-1 away victory. Next up we got West Ham coming up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth, 4 defeats in their last 5 matches. Who would have thought that? And West Ham, their form has been terrible in the last 3 matches as well. Defeats against Newcastle and Wolves, and a draw against Everton, which was decent. In this one I think it's going to end up Desmond's. I don't think either of these defences are that great, and Kluivert, he was missed big time for the last match. Will he be back for this one? Touch and go, but Yeah, I'm going to go for Desmond's in this one 2-2.
Interesting. I really don't like the look of West Ham at the moment. For me, they just need to hibernate until the summer and have a bit of a reset there, don't they? Bournemouth, not great form, but are they going to bounce back? I probably think they will, because otherwise, for me, they're out of the European picture, which a couple of months back we thought they'd be getting in Champions League, which is mad. But yeah, 2-0 Bournemouth. Moving on, 5:30 on Sky, Villa against Nottingham Forest. Both teams in phenomenal form. Villa battering Brighton 3-0, looking amazing into an FA Cup semi-final as well. Forest as well, 3 wins on the bounce, beating Man United 1-0 as well in what was quite a close encounter, wasn't it? But yeah, going to be goals galore for me in this one, 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
Desmond's.
Up until a few weeks ago when Forest had a bit of a stutter, didn't they? A few defeats, a draw, but they've had 3 great wins against Manchester City, Ipswich, and last time against Manchester United, carving out that 1-0 victory. Villa, they sort of turned things around as well. 3 wins in their last 4, and you've got to say that win away against Brighton without response was just brilliant. So for this one, it looks like it's heading for a draw. Chris Wood, will he be back for this one? Not too sure. Gibbs White will be a miss from Nottingham Forest point of view, but I think they'll edge this at Villa Park. I am going to go for a 1-0 away victory, but this one could go either way. Next up, we got the first of the Sunday fixtures, all London affair. West London, Brentford against Chelsea. Chelsea, at the time of recording, playing Spurs. Recording this early Thursday evening, so that match hasn't taken place yet. I know Chelsea getting players back from injury. Brentford currently in 11th position, defeated against Newcastle in their last fixture. Could have got a draw in that one. And back in London, back at home, I think they'll get all 3 points here. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win, which is probably my surprise result of the weekend.
Interesting, yeah, this is a tricky one for me. Chelsea, completely inconsistent. Brentford, you just don't know what they're going to do week in, week out as well. Also inconsistent, but tend to be strong at home. Chelsea poor away. But I don't know why, I'm just going to flip it for me. Chelsea, in sixth at the moment, need to sort of get results here to keep away the Villas, the Brightons and the Fulhams. And in some aspects, the Bournemouths as well, from getting European football. So they got to pick up something somewhere. And I think this will be the start of one of them. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 to the Blues. Next up as well on Sky, we've got Fulham up against Liverpool. Liverpool, title sealed now, isn't it? 4 wins on the bounce. Probably going to get another one here against Fulham, who are just a bit inconsistent. They are due for a win because they done win-loss, but I think they just don't have enough for Liverpool, unfortunately. But they'll get some more wins on the board in a few game weeks' time. So yeah, 1-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool, I think they'll take all 3 points in this one. Against Arsenal, they did get a very, very late goal, didn't they, to make it 2-1, a bit more respectable. Liverpool against Everton, okay, it was a tough match, what they always are, over recent years, Merseyside derby, but they were really unlucky not to get a penalty. Liverpool, Everton should have had a player sent off, as we've already mentioned, but I think they'll go to London and I think they'll get all 3 points. I'm going to say a 2-0 away victory to the Reds. Next up, also on Sunday, we've got Spurs coming up against Southampton. Surely Spurs will win this one at home. Southampton terrible, but they did get that draw in midweek.
1 point behind level in derby, so
surely Tottenham will take all 3 points here. You can't rule out a Southampton draw in this either, but I am going to go for a 2-0 home victory to Spurs.
Interesting, yeah, I'm also going to go for 2-0 as well. Southampton, they just look absolutely terrible. It's just Palace just didn't turn up at all, did they? And their away form is just absolutely shoddy, isn't it? So 2-0 to Spurs.
Yeah, look, Spurs have scored 55 goals this season. Southampton, just 22, which is the lowest of any team in the Premier League.
Exactly, which is just absolutely crazy, isn't it? But anyway, moving on to 4:30, Man United against Man City, Manchester derby. Man City looks like Haaland's out for the rest of the season, which is going to be a massive blow to them. And then same again with Man United. You just don't know what team's going to turn up. Lost, obviously, to Nottingham Forest. Patchy form before the international break, of course. difficult to say, but in this one the away team usually win, don't they? So I'm going to go 2-0 Man City.
2-0, yeah. I think Man City will win this one 3-1. Mamouche.
Yeah, looking great.
Is he an understudy to Haaland? He played up front, didn't he? And it's good to see Jack Grealish getting on the score sheet as well in the last match, because he hasn't really figured much this season. Man United against Forest, okay, they lost 1-0, but they had so many chances to score in that match, like Bruno Fernandes and Maguire going close with a header as well. So I think they'll score, but I think Man City, midfield, up front, defensively, they look okay, but I think they'll concede here. But I am going to go for a 3-1 away win to Man City. And the final fixture of this game week takes place on Monday evening live on Sky. Of course, 8 o'clock, we've got Leicester coming up against Newcastle. Leicester, absolutely woeful. They've lost the last 6 matches. They may have lost more than that. They're failing to score as well. In front of goal, earlier in the season they were scoring goals, but look at that. They haven't scored in their last 6. I don't think they'll score here either at home against Newcastle, when Newcastle do have 1 or 2 injury worries, and like Trippier coming back into that defence where Lewis Hall has been playing. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Newcastle. I think Isaac should be back for this, but I think he's got a bit of a knock as well. So, 2-0 away victory to the Magpies.
Yeah, there's so much confidence in the North East at the moment. Leicester aren't scoring here. It's going to be 7 without...
Were you going to say 7-0 then?
It's going to be 7 without them scoring a goal, isn't it? And with the way it's going, it's going to be straight back down Leicester City, as we keep saying. Absolutely terrible this season. So let's go 3-0 to the Joy Boys.
Phenomenal, Nathan. So those are our predictions for game week 31. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. And if you're not playing along on there, then make sure you leave your predictions as a comment. Now, we're not actually at a game this weekend, so we'll have our eyes glued to the TV and phones and all that sort of thing for all the results coming in. And of course, there's the Grand National and Formula One. All sorts
get your
of
bets
sport.
on this weekend, lads.
Wow, all sorts of sports this weekend. Thanks for joining me once again, Nathan. Thank you all for joining us again. Enjoy the football, enjoy all the sport, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm